Hi friends, my name is Kayla and I am here to start a channel basically for book chats. I really love reading and I know I follow a lot of really great booktubers and book talkers on here, so I thought it would be fun to chime in and bring in some of the books that I'm reading as well. So one of the reasons that I love reading, of course, I feel like everyone who enjoys books can relate to this, is that we really travel places. Like we experience different experiences in these different worlds that we are reading about. Books really do take you places and they teach you lessons along the way. And that is one of the big reasons that I really enjoy watching people's videos, because I love hearing the different perspectives people have with the stories that they're reading. But not only that, a little bit of their review and insight so that I can also get good recommendations on what I think would be great to read. So I'm going to start my channel here with the first book that I have read very recently. I just finished it 2 days ago, and that is this one right here, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Little side story about this book. I actually got this at a free library. I had never heard of it before. I was actually going to a little event with my grandmother and my aunt to a paint and sip, and there was this free library, and my aunt had mentioned, oh, you should read this book. It's really, really good. You'll love it. And I was like, okay, cool. I take her recommendation any day. I know there's a movie. I never watched the movie. I never heard of the movie prior to this book. I never had read any reviews about it either. My buddy wanted to come and say hi. We were doing a book talk. Yeah. He's so funny, my dog. Yeah, so as I was saying, my aunt recommended this to me, and I had no idea what this book was about. Excuse me. Yes. I'm gonna start off by saying that this book right here is a 5-star read. 5 stars for me, 100%. And I will also say that I typically, it's hard. It's hard to get a 5-star read out of me. It's not easy. I rate books on a lot of different categories to get a 5-star. Like, it has to have a really amazing plot that unfolds seamlessly. The writing itself, how it is written, how the story itself is told and how it's unfolding, the world building, the character development. These are all things that have to be all 5 stars in order for the whole book to get that rating for me. So I won't go into any spoilers at all in this, but I will say that this is a beautiful story about Kaya. She's our female main character who basically grows up in the marsh, which is this really wild marshy area off the coast of North Carolina, with her family. They live in like a shack. They're very poor, uneducated, and they kind of have this reputation of being what they call marsh trash. So they're just like living off the land, living ignorantly, I guess you could say, with how they raise their children to an extent. And it's really difficult for Kaya because she is one of 4 children, and eventually, as she grows in age, all of her family ends up abandoning her. So like, her siblings all leave, her mom walks out, and then it's just her and her dad for a while, and when she's about 9 or 10 years old, even he leaves. So she's kind of forced to just raise herself, essentially. And she's about 10 years old, like I said, no money. She tries going to school, but the kids make fun of her because she doesn't know how to spell or anything. She's very ignorant. And so she decides she's going to live off the land, and she can learn more from the marsh than people can teach her. So she basically ends up, getting her own food. She befriends one of the, there's a black man and woman who live in town. And this is also historical fiction. It's set in the 50s and 60s. So there's great conversations around that as well. But basically this kind couple helps her with giving her clothes, and she sells them mussels, all just to get by, right? So she's living off the land and learning from the land and has to deal with isolation and a lot of loneliness, obviously. She finds friends in the animals and she learns so much from observing nature that the land and the animals become like her friends and her lessons. And there's actually a lot of really beautiful things she learns from nature. And I love how Delia Owens writes this story because I think it's also very realistic. Like, it kind of sounds really far fetched at first that a young child is living on her own and surviving, but I think it's all done in a very realistic way that it's very believable. I know some people, after I finished this, I actually read some reviews, and some people felt like this was boring or it like moved too slow. I, however, felt like the pacing was wonderful. I think that if you enjoy nature and you love nature, you will not find this boring at all. I also really love how the author basically tells the story from the present moment and what we're experiencing, and then the past through Kaya growing up and how the past and present end up colliding. I think that she did that really, really well. But basically, Kaya comes to an age, and this is also like a coming of age story, why I love it so much, where she is, becoming a woman and wants to experience things that women experience. And she does meet two young men in town who are intrigued by her. And she befriends them, and there's other things that happen, but I won't go into that, of course. And basically, at the end of this book, like the last 1/3 is very suspenseful. It's also a murder mystery going on at the same time. I was literally could not put this book down for the last few hours I read it, just because the trial was insane. It really just had me going. And also, I will say that this is an awesome summer read. So if you want to squeeze in one more story for the summer season, this is great. I love how it takes place in the South, and it goes through, years of her life, but it's only 368 pages. So again, I think Delia Owens did an incredible job of pacing this book. We learn about Kaya from when she's 10 years old all the way until she's like 22, I want to say. And it just read very well. She also writes this book as if it is prose, like just one long prose. That's how I felt, at least. There is beautiful poems weaved in and out of the chapters. And I loved reading the poetry. Absolutely loved it. I am a poet at heart, and I thought that was such a nice touch. And then at the end, what you learn about the poems, just wow. Like, I was just floored by this. Again, I had no idea what this book was going into it other than the synopsis on the back. And I thought it was a 5-star read. It is a coming of age story, a bit of a mystery, and historical fiction. So if you are looking for that summer read, and it's a beautiful, wholehearted, great story from start to finish, the ending perfect, definitely give this a chance. Give it a read. Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I don't think you will be disappointed. And let me know if you do read it, how you feel about it. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, drop maybe a quotation that you liked for it in the comments. I would love to hear your rating as well. And stay tuned for my next book review. Thank you.